Hello, this is Dr. Young, and I'm going to go over your week 4 assignments. For your week 4 discussion, you're going to consider this scenario, and you're going to talk about a diverse workforce and some of the challenges of communicating in that, in a setting where you've got many different people working in the same area. So for this, you're going to talk about 4 points as far as what are some values of having a diverse workforce, and then you're going to evaluate the advantages and then discuss 4 of them. Then possible conflicts, some ways to overcome them, and make sure to cover this area don't just mention possible conflicts and then offer a sentence or two about what you can do. Kind of get into that, delve into that carefully. You do want to focus on that. You need to also propose how a common standard of work-related behavior in a diverse workforce can be developed. So you need to consider what kind of rules and codes of conduct you want to institute here if you have people of different cultures working in the same area. Well, really, organization-wide. It just depends. I'm focusing on a local environment, but it is more of a organization-wide consideration. Compare some of the nonverbal communication methods that differ between the U.S. workforce and other countries, and offer examples. Make sure to discuss at least 3 items. If you maybe you've noticed, usually the rubric has, usually for your projects, but also for discussions, I do expect research to be used. Make sure to review this because I've noticed there's some missing pieces in some of the discussion posts, as far as maybe not enough responses, maybe really short answers. So just review that, make sure you're meeting these requirements on this page. And that's just found by clicking up here on the Doing Discussions Right document. So for your paper, we're just going to continue on with cross-cultural considerations in the workforce. And in this situation, you have a scenario where you've been promoted as a VP of HR. So you're going to present a presentation on appropriate communication to a group of 20 new hires. And the new hires are given, some of the characteristics of the new hires are given here. Now what this does is the audience is very diverse here, is in not just in gender or race, but experience. And also, you've got a few disabled. Excuse me, I have a cough and I'm still recovering from the flu, so I apologize. You have 2 disabled employees, and one has a hearing disability, and the other uses a wheelchair. So you have to consider all of these characteristics and think about, considerations that you want to make it as basically make everyone as receptive as possible to what you're saying. So the first thing you're going to do is perform an audience analysis, and you're going to consider arrangement of the room, content and length of presentation, and handouts and visual aids. So what I want to see is a audience analysis, an outline of the main points of your presentation, and in that outline you're going to include an introduction and at least 5 main points, each with 1 paragraph summary of important concepts, ideas, principles, or practices, and a brief conclusion. All of this should fill a 6 to 8 page Microsoft Word document. That does not include the title or reference page. So I know this seems like, well, how am I going to make, and I've had this happen, I've had this happen before where I've had students say, I don't understand how I'm going to make 6 to 8 page paper out of this, but this is the rough outline, but I expect a lot of detail and a lot of research on, because you've got several considerations to make here, and you can certainly elaborate on each one. That's really all we have. This is something that you're going to use. You should be using a little later in the course, but as well, I think in week 5, you're going to start it this week. And you are starting by writing this paper and gathering documents and gathering research, gathering sources, reading about diverse workforce, reading about communicating to diverse people in the workforce, considering, I guess what I want you to get out of this is I want you to think about people, when you're delivering a presentation, sometimes we will just say, oh, this is what I need to communicate, so I'm going to write out my presentation and just present it and get the information out. But that's not enough, because you can deliver information, but that doesn't mean everyone's going to receive it or retain it. So this is the challenge of this assignment, because I want you to think about who who is your audience. In this case, it's giving you the assignment's giving you your audience characteristics. But it doesn't matter what audience you present to. The next time you go to your job or you go, get a promotion and you present something, I want you to think back on this class and think, wow, I need to really consider who I'm presenting to and how I can make that person and that person and that person and that person as receptive to what I'm saying as possible, rather than just spitting out information and not really knowing if they care or if they're listening or if they even are interested in what you're saying. If you make the extra effort to communicate to them, they're going to be more receptive to you. So that's really all I have. If you have any questions or concerns, let me know, and I will be more than happy to assist you. Thank you, and have a great week.